Hi, summertime, and I thought I would give you some camping tips. People like to go camping. You've never gone camping, here are some good tips that you can use. And if you've gone camping, here are some tips that you might need to use to make your camping trip a little more enjoyable. The first tip, in your campsite, on your picnic table, put a tuba on your picnic table. Yeah, if you put a tuba on your picnic table, you're guaranteed to keep the two campsites beside you empty. It's true. That's tip number one. Tip number two, old socks can be made into high fiber beef jerky by smoking them over the campfire. Tip number two. Tip number three, when smoking a fish, don't inhale. Never inhale. I didn't inhale. Tip number four, a hot rock placed in the bottom of your sleeping bag will keep your feet warm. You don't have a hot rock. An enchilada will do the same thing, but the cheese does get between your toes. When you go camping, you should always have a Swiss Army knife. Everybody knows a Swiss Army knife. Little did you know, on that Swiss Army knife, if you pull the single blade out, just those single blade on, it can be used to paddle your canoe. Just in case you're in an emergency. That's just a little tip. If you need to start a fire, lint from your navel, from your belly button, is a very good fire starter. But here's a tip. You need to remove the lint before you start the fire. Yeah, just a little tip. You can duplicate the warmth of a down-filled sleeping bag exactly the same way if you climb into a garbage bag with a couple of geese. So that's just another tip for you. When you go camping and hiking, always wear a long sleeve shirt. Yeah, you always need a long sleeve shirt so you have something to wipe your nose on. It's just a helpful tip. These are just helpful tips. When you're rolling up your sleeping bag, if you want to compress to get it as small as you can, just run over it with your car. Just another tip. I discovered this. A two-man pup tent. When you go buy a two-man pup tent, it does not include two men or a pup. So the advertising is a little bit off on that one. A baked potato in the coals for 1 hour makes an excellent side dish when camping. A baked potato in the coals for 3 hours makes an excellent hockey puck. Just another little tip for you. If you're trapped and lost in the forest, you can shoot small game if you need to survive with the elastic band from your underwear. Just another tip for you for camping. If you really need some good kindling to start a fire, the best kindling is the stupid guitar from the kid in the campsite beside you. Just another tip. I'm not saying do it, but it's kindling from a kid's guitar. It works. Before you go camping, you should always check the clothes. Check the washing instructions, because the only washing instructions you need to watch for when you're buying clothes when you're going camping, it should say on the tag, it should say beat by a rock in the stream. Beat on a rock in the stream, because that's the only thing you can clean when you go camping. Just a tip. For campers, the sight of a bald eagle has just thrilled campers for years and years and years. The sight of a bald man, oh, that does nothing for the eagle. Just a little tip. If you're really stressed out and you want to get rid of some of your hostility when you go camping, the best way to reduce that is to use pictures of the local politicians and world politicians for toilet paper. That's a good way to get your stress out. In an emergency, the shoelaces from your hiking boots are a great way to strangle your tent mate who's been snoring all night. Just a tip. It's just a tip. So these were just some tips for you if you go camping. You can follow them if you want. You can laugh at them. But you can subscribe to my channel if you want. You learned something new today, because it is a place for stories and learning. If you like jokes, I got funny jokes. I got some ESL lessons. You want some idioms, to learn some idioms, review some idioms, that would be cool. I just thought I would make this funny little video for you guys. Have a great summer. And if you do go camping, ignore some of these tips. But have a great summer. Summertime's a wonderful time of year. Just be safe. And watch some YouTube videos in your spare time. A place for stories and learning. Subscribe. Thank you, my friends.